Buying a home in 2026, there are 6 things that you have to get right or this market will eat you alive. I'm talking about deals collapsing, deposits lost, financing falling apart at the last minute, or finding out way too late that you can't actually afford the home that you thought you could. This isn't about luck. It's about knowing the exact steps to take before you even start house hunting. And if you skip them, like so many buyers still do, you'll either overpay, miss out, or walk straight into a financial mess. In this video, I'm walking you through the 6 non-negotiables to buying a home this year. And at the end, I'll show you the traps that most people never even see coming until it's too late.
You only get one chance to buy or sell your next home. Let's get it right.
Hey, worth mentioning, my name is Darren, a real estate professional based right here in White Rock in South Surrey. And I've been helping families just like yours buy and sell homes here since all the way back to 2007. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people over the years, many of whom found me right here on this very YouTube channel. So if you're seriously thinking about making a move and want some smart local advice with zero pressure, just real insight, there's a link in the description of this video to book a time with me or my team. Together, we'll help you make the right move with confidence. Okay, so let's dive right into this. Number 1, you need to get pre-approved. Now hold on here. This is not just a rate quote. It is the foundation of everything else. A real pre-approval should tell you exactly what you can spend, how much you need for a down payment, what your monthly payments look like, and what conditions are attached to getting that lending. But here's the problem. Way too many people think that they're pre-approved when really they just had a quick chat with their bank. No paperwork has been submitted, no income verified, no real stress test applied. Then they go out shopping, fall in love with a home, write an offer, and find out that the bank can't actually fund the purchase. The numbers, they just don't work. The documents don't line up. And honestly, it feels like it should be illegal to call that a pre-approval. Even these online calculators, they're a start, but they're not a substitute for getting the real advice, the real thing. It's like trying to bake a cake with 1/3 of the ingredients. It might smell good at first, but it's going to collapse the second that you bring it out of the oven. These fake pre-approvals, they give you false confidence, and that's really dangerous when you're buying a home. But when it's done right, you walk into the market with full clarity. You know your limits and you can act fast, and sellers know when you're serious, which gives you a massive edge when offers get competitive. Next on the table, number 2, is understanding the difference between banks and mortgage brokers. This truthfully is one of the most misunderstood and most important parts of the process. On the surface, it feels the same. You talk to someone, they say that you're approved and off you go, right? But who you're talking to and who they work for, well, that really makes a big difference. To put this in perspective, bank reps work directly for the bank. They can only offer you their own mortgage products based on the bank's specific guidelines. Sometimes that's a great fit, especially if you already maybe bank there or they're maybe running a promotion. Mortgage brokers, on the other hand, well, they work for you. They can shop your application across multiple lenders, including major banks, credit unions, and even alternative lenders. And that can mean better rates, more flexible approvals, or access to options that you didn't even know existed. But here's the thing, neither is automatically better than the other. There are pros and cons to both, and both the banks and the mortgage brokers are not going to tell you all the reasons why the other is better. They're only going to tell you the reasons that they feel that they are better. Banks can be simpler if your finances are straightforward. Brokers can be game changers if you're self-employed, new to Canada, or even need a more tailored approach. What matters most is not assuming things and learning to ask the right questions. Questions like, who do you actually work for? Or what are my actual options and why are you recommending this particular option to me? Also, don't forget to ask how they get paid. It's not about being suspicious. It's just about understanding what's motivating the advice that you're being given. The more you understand how these 2 channels work, the more confident and in control that you'll actually be. Number 3, pick your area before you go shopping. You've heard it before, location, location, location. It's a realtor's favorite thing to say, and it's true. Where you buy affects everything, your lifestyle, your commute, your long-term value, and your resale options down the line. But a lot of buyers, they jump in looking at 5 or 6 totally different cities. The problem with this is every area has its own price point, pace, and personality. What $1.2 million buys you in one place might look completely different just 10 minutes down the road. When you're constantly jumping between markets, your sense of value gets scrambled. You start comparing apples to oranges, and that clouds your decision making. An easy example of this is when we have people looking at buying a house, let's say in White Rock, but they're also open to the idea of Cloverdale. Two totally different neighborhoods, two totally different price points. I want you to think about something here too. This isn't something that you're going to redo 3 months from now. You're not just test driving this house. This is something that is long term and this is real life. So start with your number one location, the area that checks the most boxes for your lifestyle, commute, family plans, all of it. Then, only if your budget says so and you're not finding the type of home that you maybe need or you really want, that's when you start working outwards. The second you focus on a particular area, the fog starts to lift and you start to recognize what's overpriced, what's a deal, and when something is actually the one. Number four on our list is getting brutally realistic about your budget. This is where buyers quietly waste weeks and months of their lives. They get stuck chasing what I call the unicorn house, the dream home with the chef's kitchen and the huge backyard and the perfect school zone. But it's listed $150,000 over what your lender says you can afford. So what happens? Well, your brain starts getting attached to those homes anyway. You start thinking maybe the price will drop, or maybe I can just stretch a bit, or what if I just wait a little bit longer? Meanwhile, your bank account is sitting there saying, we are not doing that. The longer that you stay in that fantasy, looking at properties way outside your affordability, the harder it gets to see the good, realistic options clearly. You walk through homes that you can afford and feel disappointed, not because they're bad, but because you're still dreaming about that unicorn house. So let's get honest and like painfully honest about what your money actually gets you right now, not last year, not what your friend got, not what a YouTube algorithm told you to buy. Reality clears up frustration, and when your expectations and budget align, the process gets a lot smoother. You stop second guessing, you start spotting all of the good stuff, and you move forward. In fact, we did a whole video on this, which I've got in the notes of this video, all about the unicorn house, and it's absolutely worth watching. Before we touch on the last two non-negotiables, if you're even thinking about buying a home, whether it's in the areas that we serve, a White Rock, Surrey, or surrounding municipalities, it can be anywhere in BC for that matter, you're going to want to grab a copy of our free PDF, which is 21 grants and rebates for home buyers. We pulled together every program we could find, from federal, provincial, and even niche local ones, plus tips, links, and quick ways to save money. And these are often hard to find, buried, or simply just really confusing to understand. So we've sourced them and put them in one single spot for you to take full advantage. It's totally free and can save you thousands. So you can get it now by using the link in the description of this video. All right, coming in at number 5, learn how to hire a real estate professional the right way. This one's big and we see it all the time, and it's often a decision that gets rushed because not all agents are the same. And that doesn't mean that some are bad. It just means that not everyone is the right fit for you. Hiring the right agent is like choosing a guide through unfamiliar terrain. This isn't just someone who opens up doors. This is your strategy partner, your advocate, your sanity checker. So yeah, experience definitely matters, but don't count experience just in years in the business, because that can be a false indicator. You're going to want to look for someone who knows your area, understands the type of home and offer strategy that you need, and has seen enough deals to spot problems before they become disasters. I want you to think of experience like repetitions. The more repetitions, the more deal volume someone does, the idea becomes that the better suited they are to help you navigate the situation you're in because they've been through it before. And also, you're going to want to ask the real estate professional questions. Are you full-time or part-time? What about whether they're solo or are they part of a team? And what are the benefits of each? How are they going to keep you informed? And what about how do they approach negotiation when things get a little bit competitive? Because in this market, strategy really matters. And you want someone who's calm under pressure, not just someone who's enthusiastic. The goal isn't to bash anyone here. There are great agents at every brokerage, at every level, based on all the volume that they either do, whether it's a little or a lot. But you're going to want to take the time to make sure that your agent is the right match for you, not just the first person you see that has a flashy ad. Coming in at number 6, you need to be thinking long-term before you ever commit. Where is your job taking you? Are there kids in the picture in the future? Is there zoning changes coming up? Or is there a major development happening in the area? You know, too many people buy for right now, like, oh, I really like this kitchen, but without asking if this place still makes sense in 3, 5, 10 years. That's how people end up selling way sooner than they planned. It's usually not at the right time. The best purchases are the ones that grow with you. So think ahead if your budget allows. Don't just buy for the moment, buy for your next chapter. Okay, so now you've got the 6, but even if you nail all of them, there's still a few traps that I see buyers fall into all the time. So let's run through them really quickly as well. Trap number one, falling in love before running the numbers. We talked about this earlier. If you get emotionally attached before verifying your financing, you're absolutely setting yourself up for heartbreak. Trap number two, walking into new construction without your own representation or even without your financing fully lined up. The show home rep is friendly, but they work for the builder and not for you. And when completion day comes, if your financing is an ironclad or if the contract heavily favors the developer and not you because it's not written for you, it could cost you thousands. Trap number three, assuming interest rates won't change. Your pre approval has an expiry, and if rates shift, your buying power can drop fast. So you want to know your dates and don't get blindsided mid process. Trap number four, ignoring strata documents. If you're buying a strata, which means townhomes, condominiums, that sort of thing, this is where all of the red flags live. Lawsuits, major repairs, underfunded reserves. Don't skim these documents. You got to read and get professional help if you need it. Trap number five, and one we see all the time, is assuming sellers will drop their price to match your budget. Your affordability is your responsibility and not the seller's problem. Shopping out of your price range just in case is the fastest way to burn time and energy. And trap number six, thinking short term. If your whole plan relies on the market going up, that is not a plan. That's a bet. Buy based on what works now and in the future. At the end of the day, smart buyers don't just follow these steps, they avoid the missteps as well. And that is how you protect yourself and position yourself to actually win in this market. So if you're thinking about buying a home this year, don't just start scrolling listings and hoping for the best. Get these 6 steps right up front, avoid the traps that we just talked about, and not only will you save yourself a ton of stress, you might actually enjoy the process. Because when you're prepared, everything moves smoother. Decisions, they get clearer. And that dream home, it feels like a real win, not just a close call. Now, if you're serious about buying, the video coming up next is a must watch. It's the exact buyer onboarding that I use to walk people through the full buying process step by step. We'll cover everything from timelines to deposits, conditions, how they work, inspections, and what to expect after your offer is being accepted. Plus, there's a full playlist here on our channel with even more deeper dives, whether you're buying for the first time or it's just been a while. The first video in that series, well, that's coming up right now. When you're buying a home, you really never know who is giving you advice. And that could be true for somebody like me, where you're watching this on YouTube, but that can also be true for any real estate professional in the province of British Columbia.